Alrighty, a very happy Friday, and welcome to the TNC Sports Talk. The time has finally come. We are counting down the days and the hours till WrestleMania 42, which right now, if you go to the WWE.com website, you will find that it is just 1 day, 7 hours, 56 minutes, and 35 seconds counting down. Welcome to everyone to the go home episode of the TNC Sports Talk before WrestleMania 42. A wonderful weekend. We will get ready for you heavily in this hour. We'll also get you guys ready for the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Minnesota Twins on the road. And, they didn't win the series yesterday, but they didn't leave fans upset. Some encounters happened in yesterday's ball game at the end of the day that we will talk about here briefly as we get you guys ready for the weekend. But look, who's excited for WrestleMania 42? I know I am. The moment has been come, and it's only positive things. Each and every year, WWE never fails. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, you may not like every single match. But the bottom line is that the WWE comes in WrestleMania season. For me, it's bigger than the Super Bowl. To me, it's bigger than the World Series. It's going to be as big. And this is going to be the first time in quite some time, I believe, that another entity outbeats WrestleMania, in my opinion. WrestleMania is the only time where it doesn't just promote itself, it promotes other independent companies that look to showcase their talent, their product, and Las Vegas is filled with so many wrestling companies right now going on. They've been going on throughout the week as people are filing in. To me, WrestleMania, people come from different countries to witness this showcase of immortality. And, you know, you don't see that in baseball. You don't see that in football. You don't see it in the NBA, or you don't see it in hockey. And what I mean you don't see it is that it doesn't matter whether you're in Japan, whether you're in China, whether you're in Korea, or you're in, Australia. I mean, you're coming. You're gonna stop what you're doing. You're gonna come in to whatever WrestleMania location is, and you're just going you put all your differences aside. And you share one thing in common, and that's being a wrestling fan. I don't know another venue that can hold that type of gratitude among the entire universe. So, WrestleMania to me, I know maybe ticket sales haven't been flushed out and blown out of the water, but WrestleMania to me outbeats all these other sports. So we head into one thing that I have noticed earlier this week has to do along the lines of these last minute promotions. We know the feud that Cody Rhodes and Pat McAfee has been lingering in with Randy Orton for the WWE Championship heading into WrestleMania Saturday Night 1. And earlier this week, Cody Rhodes went after hours while the maintenance crew was there. I really don't know brief of the details, but apparently he ended up trashing and ruining a portrait of Pat McAfee and Randy Orton. He ended up taking trashing his desk, Pat McAfee's desk, taking his laptop, slamming it down, destroying everything. And it was honestly just a terrible, like, Cody Rhodes took it to the next level. Now, to me, it becomes interesting. It seems like Pat McAfee has only put himself involved into this match for a propaganda to help sell tickets. The Pat McAfee show on social media and on ESPN and all the fun places, right? It's a big entity. And you're getting football fans, baseball fans, basketball fans, fans that don't typically talk, speak, breathe, and bleed professional wrestling to gravitate. When you talk about it on the Pat McAfee show, people listen. And so what Pat McAfee has done, he has transitioned and taken those people to, hey, come check out WWE. I'm going to be there. I'm going to talk some garbage. I'm going to get my foot stuck, put my foot in my mouth, and put ourselves in a deep hole position. And now, on top of that, Cody Rhodes has brought a little bit of WWE to the Pat McAfee show. Now, it's not the first time that a WWE athlete has been on the Pat McAfee show, or he was supposed to be on the Pat McAfee show before all this unfolded and it transpired. But I really feel like this overall attack, this the damage that has been gone, it's good for business. I think it sells, and it kind of makes sense. It fits the bill. But does it? They took it to another level. Now, I don't know to what extent this is kayfabe or not, but earlier this week, Jey Uso was on another podcast. It is what it is, or whatnot, and the headline comes out that Cameron was attacked by WWE superstar Jey Uso during its "What It Is" episode. Cameron tells Jay, which this is the line that sets him off, isn't smelling what the Oos is cooking. This triggered Jay. He felt disrespected on the show. Okay, which is, it is what it is. It was on Thursday, but tensions rose when Uso felt disrespected by Cam's line of questioning. Usos had enough when Cam wanted some Sunday WrestleMania event, which, by the way, this six-man tag team match, Austin Theory, great LA Knight, on Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and I supposed to be taking on the Usos and LA Knight, is taking place on Saturday. But he wants to talk about WrestleMania 42 Sunday. Jey Uso hopped up and dragged Cam over the desk and began assaulting him on the ground, while others attempt to break up the altercation, which appears may have been staged as a promo for WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. The conversation goes, and you can watch the video yourself. I take away from this. First of all, the Usos need to separate themselves from Roman Reigns, and the World Heavyweight Championship match needs to take place somewhere else. Right? It's a Saturday and Sunday. This is why these are 2 days, and so the Usos are worried about the vision. The Usos are worried about Saturday, hour number one, where their match is taking place. There's been a lot of disrespect, a lot of things said between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, CM Punk and the Alani family, that combining these, there's no room. Tensions are already high. Heat's risen. Whether or not this is staged or not, I could only envision that this would be some sort of shoot to help outside. This is something outside the WWE. Like if you went to Fox 19, like if you went to WLW News radio station and you had a segment where you cut a promo, where you acted something out, you stage something that on a typical audience, people don't see. It's a popular show, popular podcast, just like the Pat McAfee show. They don't typically get professional wrestlers on there, but here's the promotion. And what we've twisted it up, instead of just having a normal conversation as tensions flare and tensions rise, and people don't always see the same viewpoints, what do? Well, we bring some professional wrestling to the podcast, to episodes, to audio platforms and videos outside the wrestling news. And so I think that this is a great promotion, great stage production. Now, could have this been done maybe a couple weeks before? Sure, prior, but this is their media week. right? Where social media wants interviews. If I got a chance and the opportunity to speak with half of these people, I would, regardless if you like them or not, regardless if they're a fan favorite or not. Guess what? They're part of the show. So, you had the Pat McAfee earlier this week with Cody Rhodes. You have the Jay Uso incident early yesterday, and now you're kind of setting that stage to WrestleMania 42. So my question is to ask you, okay? This is just a long shot. Do you like WrestleMania 41's match card or WrestleMania 42's match card better? Let me know down in the comments as well. While you're there, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We are blazing away in this hour, in the only hour that we have on a Friday, getting you guys ready for WrestleMania 42. Well, here's the things that we need to know watching WrestleMania 42 heading into this weekend. Kicks off tonight with SmackDown, and then it follows by a the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. And then it follows by WrestleMania Night 1 tomorrow, Saturday, April 18th at 6 p.m., and then WrestleMania Night 2. And I just want to get this today. So let's fill in what you need to know heading into WrestleMania. And I think this is something that people need to know organically. WWE SmackDown airs live tonight, April 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 5 p.m. Pacific on the USA Network. The show is broadcasting at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas as the final stop before WrestleMania. It is also available streaming on platforms like Peacock, Fubo, and YouTube TV. Okay. With that being said, the WWE Hall of Fame, and we'll get into SmackDown here in just a moment, but the WWE Hall of Fame inductees tonight are going to be Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, Demolition, Sid, Dennis Rodman, and the immortal moment of Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant WrestleMania 3. You can watch it. The red carpet for this year's WWE Hall of Fame ceremony begins at 8:15 Pacific time, and it'll be available on WWE's YouTube channel at 9 p.m. The 2026 WWE Hall of Fame inductee ceremony begins on ESPN Unlimited. So, this is kind of interesting. So, SmackDown takes place at 8. I thought they moved up SmackDown a little bit because you don't want you want people to watch SmackDown, and then it tunes into the Hall of Fame ceremony. The 2026 Hall of Fame ceremony is taking place at the Dolby Live at the Park MGM in Las Vegas, Nevada. Different place than the T-Mobile Arena that SmackDown is going to be held at. This year's WWE Hall of Fame ceremony is occurring on April 17th, which is today. Begins at 9 p.m., 12 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 a.m. Eastern time. So let's be honest with each other. I'm not staying up until midnight to watch the ceremony. I'm a little bit upset, which means basically what it means is that SmackDown is going to take place at the T-Mobile Arena at 8. When they get done, they are going to head over to the Dolby, for the red carpet, live at the park. So that is what you need to know heading in tonight. So if you're out here on the East Coast, it is going to be a late night. And I'm going to be honest, it's unfortunate because I want to watch the Hall of Fame ceremony. I want to pay my respects to Stephanie McMahon, who to me paved ways of decades in the professional wrestling, has helped revolutionize women's wrestling. She's been the pinnacle stamp of the WWE women's figure of professional wrestling, not just in the ring, but outside the ring as a manager. For someone to be the daughter of the CEO of the WWE, to be able to have the responsibility of behind the scenes executive power that translate to on the inside the ring, promo cutting, in ring action and counting you can't mix life and work together, and yet here she is entertaining us all. So I mean, I want to pay my respects. AJ Styles, another phenomenal one. I used to watch him in TNA for the longest time. One of the Mount Rushmores, in my opinion, to TNA. When you think of just original TNA, someone that didn't come from a different other company, who wasn't, well, let me rephrase that, wasn't a name for another company, comes in and takes it and runs with it. And then to do all the things on the indies, make a name for yourself, and you've already established a Hall of Fame career before coming to the WWE, an official 10-year run, and then have those 10 years another set of accomplishments, including a Grand Slam champion. Not many athletes that have never stepped foot in the WWE, or has stepped foot very little time in the WWE, has been able to proclaim a WWE Hall of Fame career, or Hall of Fame inductee, through the work that they've done outside the ring. Sting, prime example, is one of those wrestlers. AJ Styles is another man on that list. Sure, Ric Flair has earned his Hall of Fame through the work that he's also done in the WWE. But can you say that if he was never in the WWE, could he have been, through the work that he's done outside the WWE, been a Hall of Famer in the books? The answer is yes. Okay. So that is a late night. So I'm a little disappointed in that. WrestleMania 42 is on its way, as it is rumored, really true, about who WWE plans to win this year's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which will take place tonight on SmackDown, which will air at 8 p.m. on USA Network. Tonight's episode of WrestleMania SmackDown features its 12th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The 11 previous winners are Carmelo Hayes, Bronson Reed, Bobby Lashley, Madcap Moss, Jey Uso, Braun Strowman, Matt Hardy, Mojo Rawley, Baron Corbin, Big Show, and Cesaro. What's interesting about that list, and this is what I think, one thing I think the WWE needs to change and do better at, to be honest, with all due respect, has to come from, if you're going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, needs to be looked at in the same concept as if you win the Royal Rumble, or as if you win the Money in the Bank. The idea is that you are selected to get this push moving forward. It may not be at a world heavyweight or a WWE championship level, but for me, if you could win the Memorial Battle Royal, it indicates to me that the WWE has faith in you. You should be able to go on, compete for the US title, compete for the IC title, contend, make a push. The WWE creative team should be focusing on if you are a key figure of the future of the WWE or not. Carmelo Hayes, who won it, wasn't it last year, if I'm not mistaken, has gotten that push. He became, it took him a while, but he became the United States champion. He's had a successful run as the United States champion. Bronson Reed, another one. It makes sense for a guy like as dominant as Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed. They're big, Big Show, for example. This is Andre the Giant. He is bigger than life, bigger than immortality in the wrestling world. So it makes sense. When we look at guys like Mojo Rawley, did they give him a push afterwards? Baron Corbin. Matter of fact, I feel like this Baron Corbin was on the downhill afterwards. I didn't see anything. Cesaro didn't get a push. Big Show, Matt Hardy didn't get a push. So what's the purpose? What's the takeaway from winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? You carry the privilege for the year, which usually fades off after a couple weeks, that you won the Memorial Battle Royal, but that's all that's done. There's nothing that follows up after it. And I'm not saying that you need to have you earn yourself a championship match, or but you're telling me that a random person pick a name out of the hat and he wins the Memorial Battle Royal, and all right, you celebrate it for a couple weeks and you move on with your life and you become, maybe you get looked at, maybe you don't. They need to do better. All right, who is the future? Could it be Royce Keys? If we This would be a great start, considering that Trick Mello, considering that Javon Evans and Obafemi all have WrestleMania matches. This will be a great moment for Royce Keys to be favored to win this match. And that indicates not only he's beaten every man in that battle royale, but he's also, now you can look at him. He's inserted his dominance. He's ran through the entire, look, majority of the roster in one match. And you get this opportunity to now look at him throughout the course of this year. To me, he's the only one that makes logical sense. It may be predictable, but if it's the execution of it. So if he does win, I need to see more out of that. I need to see the WWE focusing on developing him. Maybe because we really don't know if he's going to be a champion or not until we put him into that situation. So I got Royce Keys somewhere out there. I'm going to also have to throw on this list Carmelo Hayes, one of the guys that frustrates to me the most, not because of him. The WWE frustrates me the most about this because Carmelo Hayes is one who carried that United States Championship for the past several months, and then out of the blue drops it to Sami Zayn. Now, where is Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania 42? If it was me, I'd have him in this trip. I would make it a triple threat match and have him in this match. Because what fascinated me out of all this is that I want you to remember the time where the Trick Mello gang, whatever you want to call that faction back in NXT, where Trick Mello or Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams were together, paired together for some time. I want you to remember that. Maybe it's a good memory, maybe it's a bad memory. My original thought heading into WrestleMania, let's re-spark that feud. And if it wasn't a feud then, it's a feud now, and see Trick versus Carmelo at WrestleMania. But I feel like he's written off, and I can't tie these people to WrestleMania 42 because that's Saturday and Sunday. This is SmackDown. So you'll see good people like Dragunov and Black and El Grande Americano, another match that I thought would have been scheduled for WrestleMania 42, if not for a SmackDown and Raw. So I really wanted to see a mask versus mask. Kingston, The Miz, Nakamura. What about Danhausen? Would he be a part of this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Tonight's episode's 3 hours. So I'm assuming a lot of the top stars are going to wrap up and make their way over as we go because it's not the same location. You got the Riot Skid 6 and the MFT finally comes to an end tonight when they battle in the 8-man tag team street fight. Chaos, carnage take place. Tensions have been escalated between Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga after especially Tama recently returned the stupid lantern back to Uncle Howdy. Shinsuke Nakamura also been whispering in Tama's ear about leaving MFT. Feels like the betrayal is coming here very soon. We got Cody Rhodes will appear tonight on SmackDown to deliver one final message to Randy Orton roughly 24 hours before their fight over the title at WrestleMania Saturday. Will Rhodes reveal that the voices in his head actually belong to Jelly Roll, and he wants Roll to be in the corner, which is something I think, although I don't think that, um, although I do not think that Pat McAfee or Randy Orton belong at WrestleMania or in this feud, you might as well toss in Jelly Roll. All right, you gotten this far. Drew McIntyre says Jacob Fatu is convicted who belongs locked up, so he chained Fatu up at Ring Post last week, and a brutal beatdown was bestowed on him. The Samoan Werewolf will be on SmackDown tonight to respond to what happened. If McIntyre is brave enough to show his face too, will Fatu pay him back with an equally severe beating on the eve of their unsanctioned match at WrestleMania. Also, the Women's United States Championship, Julia, will take on Tiffany Stratton, was booked for tonight's card based on WWE social media, but the official preview on SmackDown's website doesn't include this match. Who knows? Now, the Jordan Grace is back from injury. She returned in a dark match last week. Maybe that's rumored three-way match between Julia Stratton and Grace still has a chance to make the cut for WrestleMania Sunday. Could be something to be excited about. Other things to keep an eye out here heading into SmackDown. Will GM and Nick Aldis announce anything regarding Nikki Bela's status for her scheduled WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania Sunday? If she's medically cleared, will the Kabuki Warriors or Raquel Rodriguez or Roxanne Perez replace the Bella Twins in this match? That's a clear bummer, to be honest. Rhea Ripley tried to take out B-Fab and Machine last week. Will she have to do it again tonight to ensure that no conditions to help the WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill? Sami Zayn blasts little Yachty, trying to say that correctly, with the haluva kick last week. How will Trick Williams and Little Yachty respond tonight? Will Damian Priest and R-Truth defend their tag team titles on the eve of WrestleMania? Or will the most of the jabroni tag team division be for fodder in the Andre the Giant battle, which you can see happening? Condona always is ready to do the job. He's probably expect him to be in there. And after Danhausen defeated Kit Wilson last week in the first WWE match, will he find a way to get another match tonight so he can extend his undefeated streak? Is there any chance that Danhausen instead competes in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? I don't know about that one. As much as I would like to see him do that, unless he ends up winning, which would be a big thing too, right? An alternative spot. I say keep his winning streak alive, to be honest. So, but that is WrestleMania Eve, SmackDown tonight at 8 p.m. Man, we still have a lot of stuff to get down. We're counting down the day, the time, the hours, 1 day, 7 hours, and 30 minutes counting down the WrestleMania 42. We'll still have 7 matches to review and talk about. We'll do that here in a moment. But we've got to shift our gears over to the final game of the series where the Reds got shut out to the Giants 3-0. That didn't come at a cost because tension rose here in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark, and benches cleared as soon as the game ended. And this is according to MLB.com yesterday. Mark Sheldon and Maria Gardado, if I said that correctly, apologize for butchering the name. Things got chippy between the Reds and the Giants during Thursday's afternoon 3-game series finale at Great American Ballpark, resulting in Cincinnati's reliever Connor Phillips being ejected in the top of the 8th inning and both benches clearing after the final outs of the Giants' 3-0 victory. The culmination of incidents came after the Giants reliever, Eric Miller, struck out Sal Stewart to end the game. Miller, who notched his first save, yelled at Stewart and pointed at him to head to the dugout. And that's just a big no. Stewart, who hit 3 home runs in the first 2 games of the series for Cincinnati's win, yelled back at Miller at players for both benches and bullpen spilled onto the field. I was just fired up, Miller said. Probably left the emotions get the best of me. I'm not trying to direct anything specifically to him. I have no problem with him. I just said that sentence that most hitters probably don't like to hear. So I can understand why he was upset. It was just more like I just was really fired up. Sal Stewart said, I had my at bat. I struck out. I came down to the he came down the mound looking at me, pointing at me, and just yelling. Tempers flared. Things happen. It's all good. I'm not going to make a light into that. Uh, we won the series and things happen. Tough game today, but we won the series. We're going to Minnesota on Friday, and I'm not going to talk any more about it and leave things on the field, whatever happens. Here's what Terry Francona says about it. Missed it because when he struck out, I usually put my head down and sulk back up to the tunnel. Kind of was on the late show, who went back onto the field to help restore order. The punches were thrown, um, which is a good news. So the the Reds took the series. They won 2 out of 3, and they finished off the series or the homestands 3-3. So let's get that out of the way. 500 stands, and I really like that. So, um, you can't win them all, but the ones you can win, this is how you control. Now, if you're San Francisco, you just lost two. You lost the series. Things ain't going your way. Eric Miller is just picking up his first save. You got to find a way. Not even 10 games win yet. You're sitting at the bottom of the division, if not now tied for the, for last place with the Colorado Rockies, who had the worst record in baseball last year. Things have not gone San Francisco's way since the beginning of the season. And so when you get a chance to pick up your first win, you avoid getting swept, you pick up your first save, and you can kind of now brush off this chip on your shoulder of, you know what, we can win. And no, the series didn't work in our favor, but we didn't let that get to us, and we didn't get swept. So there's emotions flying for San Francisco. There's emotions flying for Eric Miller, and I completely understand that point of view. Regardless if it had anything to do with anything that happened throughout the game, throughout the series alone, you at some point, the managers can't do it for you. Players have to find a way to motivate themselves, have to find a way to build confidence and restore order to their organization and their team that is supposed to go on and continue to compete after that. So if I'm the Giants and I'm not playing well and I could pick up a save, I'm excited. And whether or not it's intentional or not towards the Cincinnati Reds, I think the situation unfolds specifically because it was the last out of the game. If this was 2 outs, if this was a bigger moment where runners were in scoring position and you're up by one running, you needed to stop them right then and there. Maybe it'd be a different story on the reaction. But when the game is already over, you got shut out. It was 3-0, and you're your body language is directed towards the last batter out there. I don't blame Sal Stewart for interpreting that as something that, hey, is that towards me? And if it's something towards me, look, we won the series. I don't know what you're chipping about. Let's go talk it out. Now, it doesn't seem like anything got out of hand. It doesn't seem like anyone showed interest of wanting to cause violence, which is great, but you just never know. All right, I'm not down there on the field. I'm not in the middle of the crowd. And you could talk to all the players who were involved into that incident, and they tell you something different. But when you direct something, whether it's intentional or not, to somebody, and they respond to it, and now you're responding to that. I mean, it's not like you won Game 7 of the World Series. The Reds are coming off of a series that they've also played very well at, and a lot better than what they did over the weekend. There is a lot of momentum that both teams can use off of this little altercation that can lead into the next series. The Minnesota Twins, who are our next opponents here, they are 11-8. They're playing some really good baseball, and it is important. We are 5-2 on the road. They are 7-3 at home. This is a huge testament to our rotation, to our bullpen, to our offensive ability. Bats haven't woken up yet. Let's wake them up because there is a high importance to take and win this series in Minnesota over the weekend. Starts things off on Friday with Brennan Williamson today. 8-10 first pitch. Comes in with a 1-1 record and a 5.28 ERA. It's going up against Joe Ryan. Right out of the gate, the series is going to be hit hard. Joe Ryan's a good pitcher. 2-1, 3.80. Saturday, first pitch at 2:10. Andrew Abbott will be on the mound. He's 0-2 with a 5.85 ERA. Going up against Taj Bradley. He's 3-0, 1.25 ERA. So Saturday is going to be another matinee game that you don't want to miss. On Sunday, 2:10. Wrap up the series with Brady Singer, who's 1-1, 5.60 ERA, with Bailey O'Burr, 2-0 with a 5.49. So I struggle. You talk about this is a good series. This is a compelling series. And this is going to be one of those series that I don't necessarily think that Minnesota, I think they're kind of hitting this patch where they're successful. And that's fine by me. But Minnesota is a good team at the moment. We are projectedly to be a good team. And the way that we played baseball the last 2.5 weeks indicates that we could be a good team. But we do have our hiccups and our fair shares. Taking 2 out of 3 can just solidify against a good opponent, we could win a series. We're not going to win them all, but we could win a series. And so I feel like just like the series prior to us with the Giants, facing some West Coast teams, just like the Pittsburgh Pirates a couple weeks ago, the Texas Rangers, the Miami Marlins, every series is important. This one's particularly important because we are going up into someone else's turf, someone else's yard, playing baseball for 3 games, and they are also just as good as we are. That's all I can speak on that. I don't really know too much about how Minnesota's doing. But Minnesota is also 8-2 over the last 10 games, as the Reds are just 5-5. So our rotation really needs a hit, which Andrew Abbott, Brady Singer needs to step it up. Brennan Williamson as well. Minnesota is 11-8, followed by the 11-9 Guardians, 10-9 Tigers, the 10-9 Tigers, the 7-12 Royals, and the 6-13 White Sox. In the NL Central, the Reds are tied with the Pittsburgh Pirates at 11-8. St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers are 10-8, and the Chicago Cubs are 9-9. See how tight that is? And one thing that I noticed, I was watching the end of the Milwaukee game. They ended up pulling away with the victory. They won the series and against the Toronto Blue Jays. And I was just like, okay, well, Milwaukee's a serious team. They're going to be good this year. They got a winning record. I'm sure the Cubs are in the same format as that. So we can't let off the gas at all. And this is a series that I don't want it to trickle over if we lose the series into Tampa Bay. I'd like to finish off this road stand, which is 6 games before our next day off and before we come back home for the Hall of Fame weekend against the Tigers, to be good enough to finish off with a winning record. Let's take a look at what's going on in the National League Central. Over the weekend, the Mets will begin a 3-day game series against the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. First pitch for all 3 games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, start at 2:20. The Mets enter in with a 7-12 record, while the Cubs are 9-9. Tampa Bay, before heading home to face the Reds next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, will have to go on to Pittsburgh and PNC Park to take on the Pirates. Tampa Bay is 11-7, taking on the 11-8 Pirates. First pitch tonight is 6:45. Saturday's game is at 4:05, and Sunday's game is at 1:35. Milwaukee is on the road to Miami. The 10-8 Brewers will take on the 9-10 Marlins tonight at 6:40. 4:10 on Saturday and 1:40 on Sunday. St. Louis Cardinals are on the road taking on the Houston Astros. First pitch is at 8:10 tonight. These Cardinals are 10-8, while the Astros are 8-12. Saturday's game is at 7:10. Sunday's game is at 2:10. We're looking at the weekend series and games that we should be looking at. And one game kind of popped to my mind, and that is the Dodgers and the Angels and the Padres. And it's interesting to even mention those two teams together, but the reason why I mention them together is because the Padres have been on this nice hot winning streak. They just got done sweeping the Seattle Mariners and the Colorado Rockies over the last, 8 games? A couple of them, at least, 3, if not 4 of them, have finished off in walk-off fashion. Padres looking to be on a very hot streak, as well as their closer, Mason Miller. With that energy just moving up to Orange County, just a little ways, 15 minutes away from Disneyland, California Adventure, they take on the Angels, who are coming back from a series win against the Reds last weekend, and also they've dominated the New York Mets, where Mike Trout homered in every game in New York, all 4 games. First time that an opposing team has been able to do that. And so, if you're looking for outside the region, maybe a different team, a game to kind of pay close attention to this weekend, I have to recommend the Padres and the Angels. Mike Trout, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis. I mean, I think Jorge Soler is supposed to be back at this time too, which will be great. But they're both teams are on great momentum heading into this series, and one of them is going to have to suffer a losing series. Can the Halos pick up and have home field advantage? And how much of a home field advantage compared to the Padres just down south from them? I remember going to Angel Stadium, really good stadium. Also, Sunday Night Baseball available on NBC and Peacock as the Atlanta Braves take on the Philadelphia Phillies at 7:20. Cincinnati Bearcats baseball continues a 3-game weekend series at UCF in Orlando, Florida. Cincinnati Bearcats head into the series with a 25-14 record. They are 6-9 in conference play. They're on a 1-game winning streak, winning back on Tuesday, 15-5 against Xavier. They are 9-9 on the road and 1-0 at neutral locations. This Big 12 conference begins tonight at 6 p.m. Saturday will also be at 6 p.m. And on Sunday, they will be playing on high noon. Next coming up game at home at the UC Bearcat Stadium as the season begins to wind down will be against West Virginia next weekend on Friday night. Other news going on around Cincinnati Bearcats spring football has been canceled tomorrow. Showcase in their spring showcase due to inclement weather. Also, in a tweet posted out, Cincinnati football fans will celebrate a fan day in the fall in August to meet the players, to get autograph signings, and much more. For more information, follow Cincinnati Bearcats Sports.com. NBA play-in tournament continues tonight. Let me get to you before we talk about WrestleMania matches here. There we go. Yeah, all right, today's playing game, winner advances to the 8th seed as the loser goes home. Tonight, first tip-off is at 7:30 between the Charlotte Hornets taking on the Orlando Magics, followed by the 10 p.m. tip-off between the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns. Both games are available on Amazon Prime. On Saturday, we will see 4 games. 3 of them will be on Amazon Prime as the first tip-off is at 1 o'clock between the Toronto Raptors taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. At 3:30, the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Denver Nuggets, and at 6 o'clock, the Atlanta Hawks take on the New York Knicks. At 8:30 on ABC, the Houston Rockets will take on the Los Angeles Lakers. NBA playoffs will continue in the first round tomorrow on Sunday. Two games have been confirmed for 1 o'clock on ABC. The 76ers will take on the Celtics. And at 9 o'clock, the Portland Trailblazers, will take on the San Antonio Spurs. After the conclusion of tonight's game, more games will be announced for Sunday. All right. Let's get back down into our wrestling conversation. So far, we have predicted that uh, that Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and I Show Speed. I predicted that they will beat the Usos and LA Knight this Saturday at WrestleMania Night 1. I predicted that Finn Balor will beat Dominic Mysterio with the return of the Demon. I predict that Gunther will beat Seth Rollins with the also appearance of Braun Breaker. I was up in the air about the Women's Tag Team Championships, but I have Bayley and Lyra Valkyria beating the other three teams. If Brie Bella and Nikki Bella are unable to perform, they were my runners-up. I could see. I still promote that Bayley and Lyra will win. I have the prediction of Javon Evans becoming the new Intercontinental Championship, winning the ladder match. I also predicted that Jacob Fatu will defeat Drew McIntyre in the unsanctioned match. Which leads me to the WWE Intercontinental Championship, where Trick Williams and Sami Zayn will go on one-on-one. I've shared enough. I feel like this WrestleMania highlights the upcoming NXT stars. That's why I chose Javon Evans to get his win and become the Intercontinental Champion. And it's not the Intercontinental Champion, it's the United States Champion. Excuse me. Got to get that right. I got typed in the wrong one. So I think that Trick Williams takes the title away from Sami Zayn. I would have wanted to see a triple threat match, but this one-on-one match, I think Trick Williams walks away victorious. All right, continuing down that line, we have the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. This is another match that I feel like, has been kind of painted over the past few months. AJ Lee challenged Becky Lynch at Elimination Chamber, where AJ Lee won the IC title, and now Becky Lynch is back at it. What to see it come to complete? I got Becky Lynch winning this one. Is that it's given AJ Lee the title for a brief moment. One, you could add it to his resume, and two, she's made a few appearances about it. She's even had a title of defense, but nothing major. It doesn't shift the WWE. It doesn't shift the women's division. Therefore, putting it back on Becky Lynch just keeps the process going. Now, it's one of the feuds that it doesn't really go anywhere, right? It was built within the road to WrestleMania, and it's only going to stay within the road to WrestleMania guidelines. After AJ Lee loses, I don't know what the future plans for her to be. I don't think it has to include with Becky Lynch. I feel like we're done with that and we can move on. I feel like it keeps a strong champion, a fighting champion, someone who could be there every week. Not saying that AJ Lee won't be there every week, but it keeps the stakes high for the women's championship. And one thing that I want the WWE to notate is that you're now going to compare these main women title holders to these undercard title holders, and the expectation and the levels are going to be risen for the talent that comes through. Also talk about the WWE Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill. Rhea Ripley won the Women's Elimination Chamber and is now facing. I think what's so great about this match reminds me a lot about Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. This is just two well fit females that has accomplished a lot that you kind of don't want to cross paths with inside or outside of the ring. And they are getting it's like they're going to be able to clash. And so this is kind of one of those dream matches that comes true because Rhea Ripley has most definitely dominated this women's division. And Jade Cargill, I think I have yet to see a official prominent role of her at the top of this division, going toe to toe with Rhea Ripley places her up there. And so I think that has been a while since Rhea Ripley has captured gold. But it's interesting. Is Naomi able to come back? Is Bianca Belair able to come back? I'm still intrigued about a feud with one of them, especially Bianca with Jade Cargill. I don't know if that's too soon, but if maybe, and also we talk about possible appearances, if one of them could possibly find themselves a return, but I could see this double down of helping Jade win now, ultimately to take the title maybe for a SummerSlam build. So I'm going to go on a limb and say something of that statue. When you have people, others to help you take out Rhea, it really indicates, hey, I'm scared of you. I need people to take you out because coming with you at 100% is not me at 100%. I'm lower. I'm 80, 90. So it's hard to see that, but that's what kind of the picture that's been painting over the last several weeks is that Jade Cargill is using machine and BFAB to beat up Rhea Ripley because guess what? They're not good enough. Can't do it. Right? That when Rhea Ripley's 100%, she's better than me. That's what it says. We also see the women's world championship between Liv Morgan and Stephanie Valkyr. I like how much this has progressed. I do think Stephanie Valkyr retains the title. I would like to see a Roxanne Perez turn. Maybe we don't see it, but uh, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna actually butcher that. I'm gonna say Liv Morgan. I feel like you have to keep some sort of ordinance with the storyline moving, and the direction that I can see it transitions in is that although Finn Balor wins, JD McDonough loses. Liv Morgan is kind of like the stable of the Judgment Day at the moment. She kind of leads it, she runs it, and Roxanne Perez is going to be the odd woman out right now, and she's not going to quite fit in the picture. Therefore, she's going to wait her time. She's still paired up with Finn Balor low key behind the scenes. And at some point, she's going to eventually be able to turn. That's going to lead to her in a future Women's World Championship, unless it persuades Raquel Rodriguez to come over and then she becomes that. That's just my thinking process. I know that's crazy, but I think that Liv Morgan has played these manipulative games, as has played these verbiage, emotional games that has gotten to Stephanie. And so, unless we see a different side of Stephanie Valkyr come out, which we could, I don't see her winning at WrestleMania. Obafemi, Brock Lesnar. One of my favorite matches on the card is going to be in the first hour, hour number, night number two. Um, I feel like this has to be simple. I feel like it has to be a squash match. I feel like it has to be an Obafemi match. Um, you build it up to it. Brock Lesnar could take a loss and it doesn't phase him. As a matter of fact, what it does, it will lead him up to having dominance again or questioning his future of professional wrestling. Is that, hey, you are dethroned. You are not the beast of the ruler of the jungle anymore. And this is the only time. I don't feel like you're going to get another time at this. Gunther has already established and created his name. So even if Gunther wants to retire Brock Lesnar, so be it. That's fine by me. But Gunther being the one to dethrone Brock Lesnar ultimately Can't happen. He's already a Hall of Fame career. This establishes Obafemi in his tracks. And that's why I say it has to be a squash match. Now, both of them, it doesn't make sense for them to go 20 minutes. Probably doesn't even make sense to go 10 minutes. Matter of fact, I could see between them standing around and their entrances lasting longer than the match itself. But I digress. I got Obafemi winning. WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. I do think Jelly Roll will have a partake in this match. I really do not like the outside feud with Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. Maybe, and you know, I really hate how we have to victimize Cody Rhodes. I feel like he's a perfect heel, but I really would like to see Randy Orton win his 15th championship and or 16th championship, whatever you want to, how many titles he's won, and do it at the hands of Cody Rhodes. I feel like this is where it's lead up, but I do feel like Cody Rhodes is going to walk away victorious in this one. It's like I said, something that I'm not a fan of, something that I don't want to see, but I feel like this has been a move that is playing the safe card in this. So Cody Rhodes beats Randy Orton. Last but not least, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match between Roman Reigns and CM Punk, something that has been feuding since the Royal Rumble. A lot of words have exchanged, a lot of pleading to family members that just hasn't worked. Almost makes you feel like you have to see a family member involved into this match. A lot of speculations that The Rock could be making a return to be making an appearance at WrestleMania 42. Matter of fact, there is that one huge rumor where The Rock is going to be a part of this match to set up for WrestleMania 43 in Saudi Arabia, where we might finally get to see The Rock and Roman Reigns compete one on one. Now, I think that would be great. I think that CM Punk needs to overcome this obstacle. I think that there's a lot more. There's a lot of issues still within the family that need to be sorted out before anything else. So I can see, it would have to be, you know, an outside interference. The Rock comes down, maybe teases Roman, hey, I'm going to be on your side. But in reality, he ends up turning on him and costing him the match and saying, look, you're not the authority, I am. And this leads into a year long feud. We've seen it happen before, and I may see it again. So I can see CM Punk winning in retaining the World Heavyweight Championship match, or otherwise, they play this out where Roman gets the title, carries it for a few months, and then gets sabotaged either at SummerSlam or at Survivor Series. Either way, I think the mark has to start here for WrestleMania 43. So, what are your predictions? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, let me know on our social media pages. Let's open up the chats. We'll be back on Monday to talk about all of this. Also, just a heads note that Danhausen is looking for John Cena. Attention, all viewers. Danhausen is looking for John Cena, who is hosting WrestleMania 43. So I'm interested to see what it is. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. That's all the time we have for you guys today. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Please have those notifications on so you don't miss a single episode. Please head on over to our social media pages. Get involved in our conversations. We are on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at TNC Sports Talk. You can also download this episode. If you miss any episode throughout the week, we encourage you to go back and watch. If not, listen to us. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and Spotify. If we're not on there, let us know. We will get on there. You can listen to us on the road, at work, at the gym, wherever you get your podcasting needs. Check us out. So, well, that's all the time I have for you guys today. We will be back on Monday to review WrestleMania 42. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Justin, and appreciate you for tuning into the TNC Sports Talk. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Take care.